started. Okay, thanks so much for coming to the Center Online tonight. Welcome. I'm very excited to have with us a former colleague of mine, Jennifer Freeman Smith. In fact, Jennifer gave us a form of this presentation as her demonstration as a trainer when we worked at UVA as trainers together. So this is what got her the job. Jennifer does trainings for the CDC. She loves to travel. And of course, COVID has been put a little damper on that, but she loves to travel both for work and in her life in general. So that's all I want to say because I want to give the floor to Jennifer. This will be about an hour presentation. And if you have any questions, everybody's muted right now. You can put them in the chat at any time. And then when there's some space available, I'll be happy to ask Jennifer those questions. There'll also be time at the end for Q&A, and I can unmute folks if you want to ask directly, or you can put your questions in the chat at that time. So once again, welcome to the Center Online, and I'm turning it over to you, Jennifer.
All right, thank you so much, Carolyn, and welcome everyone. We're talking about a topic that is near and dear to my heart. I am slightly travel obsessed, and I just have a lot of fun doing it. And then it also, minimalist travel, I shall say, speaks to my love of being as efficient in my processes as possible. And so I view this as an opportunity to kind of share my love of travel and have an open dialogue with all of you, because I'm pretty sure that you're here too because you also enjoy traveling. So when we think about one bag travel and minimalist travel, you might think of a young millennial who's not necessarily very well bathed in a small backpack and just carrying on. And that is not the lifestyle, the type of travel that I'm talking about. I'm talking about being as streamlined as possible so that we can get through the airport quickly, we can get to our destinations without lost bags, and make our travel experience as positive as possible by only bringing the essentials and maybe a few luxuries. So as I'm talking, I encourage you to put things in the chat if you have ideas or questions. I have a lot of props around me that you can't even see, so I am very happy to share my recommendations for products and the like. And I view this as a collaborative conversation. All right. So COVID obviously has messed this all up. When Carolyn first approached me about giving this talk, it was before COVID upended our whole lives, and it was going to be a very different sort of presentation. So with that said, we're thinking about travel aspirationally, and then also thinking about what are ways that we can begin to travel now and stay safe as we do it. So there are hopefully many ideas that will be shared today that you can use in the future. Okay, so what is it that we're talking about? What is it that a traveler needs to pack? A towel, according to the Hitchhiker's Guide of the Galaxy. That's all you need, 42 and a towel. Now, maybe that's not quite the way that we're going to be traveling. I tend to try and go for one bag travel if I can help it, so that I never check any luggage. And in the personal item, there are some things that I think that are always useful to have. Probably not a towel, realistically. Apologies to Douglas Adams. ID and credit cards, of course. At this day and age, a vaccination record is probably a very useful item to bring with you. Cash in small bills so that you can tip people, because if you only carry 20s and 100s, then you don't have anything for the bellhop, for example. A phone and a charger. How many times have we been stuck in an airport without a charger and a low battery where we need to work things out? Pens and a notebook, some type of reading material. Headphones are always nice. Prescriptions, of course. If you have prescriptions, keep them with you. Don't have them in the check luggage where they could get lost. I like to have Clorox wipes with me because I like to use them on the plane when I get into the plane. Hand sanitizer, of course, is part of our daily life now. Face masks, and then maybe a labeled paper bag that you can put things in if you want to. Baby wipes, I use these just to freshen up on the plane. And then also if something spills or I get dirty or something sticky, then I like baby wipes rather than using Clorox wipes on my hands. A toothbrush so that you don't get to your destination and feel a little grungy. Nail clippers have myriad uses. Lotion, because airplanes and other places are very, very dry. A water bottle. We'll talk, don't ever drink the plain water. A water bottle is very useful. Snacks, extra Ziploc bags are always useful. Sunglasses, a scarf. I don't travel with a towel, but a scarf I will sing the praises of because they are extra blankets. They are a source of warmth. They're a source of fashion. So scarves, even in warm weather, a light scarf is wonderful. I also will carry a receipt wallet for me. For business travel especially, I want to have a place to document it, but you might also just want it for your own tracking of your expenses. And then of course, any electronics. So looking at this list, what have I missed? What other items would you put in your personal item no matter what? And I'm talking about the thing that stays with you on the plane, on the train, that you're not going to check.
And you can just put that in the chat if you have any ideas.
Or you can put in if something surprising to you that you might not have thought of. Oh, passport, absolutely. Reading glasses. Yes, how can you fill out a visa form if you can't read the lines? Medication, copies of those credit cards. I'm seeing a lot of good ideas come in here. Now, I travel with a smartphone, and I know that not everyone has a smartphone, but I find them to be very, very useful. One, it's a place where I can log my trip information, but if you are flying someplace, download the airline app before you get onto the plane. And this is really important that you do this before you get onto the plane, because oftentimes with that airline app, you have privileges like free Wi-Fi for a certain period of time, okay? So having that airline app downloaded beforehand is gonna make your life a lot easier. Having a GPS and offline maps, that's huge as you're traveling. I can find that very handy. On your phone, you have a camera and you can use that to photograph or take screenshots of receipts of your parking spot. If you're traveling someplace and there's a really large parking garage, you can remember where you are. ID and credit card information. My smartphone is locked, so no one can get in, but I have copies of all of my credit cards, my passport, my driver's license, all of that's within my smartphone. And of course, boarding passes can be very useful too. So and this is part of the airline app as well, but you can have your smartphone and just show your boarding pass and then board that way. I use my phone as an audiobook and an e-reader. So I have my headphones and I listen to books on tape. That's my preferred way. A lot of times I have small children, and so I don't get a chance to read at home very much. And so I read while driving by having apps. If you use social media, Instagram, this could be you. Maybe you're a TikToker. I'm not. That could be your thing. I like to have loyalty cards and numbers written in my phone as well. I have actually a Google spreadsheet that I use where I keep all of my loyalty information in one place so that when I get to a hotel and I need it, then I can pull it up. Restaurant activity recommendations. And then also, if you're traveling to a foreign country, Google Translate can be really handy because you can even use it to take pictures of a menu and translate a menu. Even in Japan, for example, you could use Google Translate for that purpose. What other ideas do you have? How else do you use your smartphones if you use them? And you can enter your ideas in the chat. Remember, I told you this was going to be a collaborative talk. Oh, photo of bags in case they're lost. I love that. If you're checking your bags, as well as your baggage slips, taking pictures. These days, my SLR camera is a lot heavier than my phone camera, and it's arguable about the quality of pictures between them. Great, I'm seeing good ideas here. Now, I did mention a notebook. So as much as I love my smartphone, I also love having something to write things down on. And so your notebook is handy for trip logistics. If your smartphone runs out of batteries, it's very useful to have your hotel and flight information, and then crucially, the airline phone number. Because if you get stuck at the gate and they've just announced that your plane is canceled and they tell everyone to go to customer service, there might be a line that's a couple hours long and you will miss any potential alternate connecting flight while you're waiting in that line. But if you have the airline phone number handy, you can call them directly and they can reroute you while everyone else is still waiting in line. So that is a traveler tip there, just to have that phone number handy. You're not even Googling it, but you've got it in your notebook. The airline hotel loyalty numbers. Again, those are really, really useful. I love participating in loyalty programs because it's my way of racking up points so that I can have free travel. Any key contacts, advice from locals. So as you're talking to people, that's the best source of information for restaurants and things to do. And I love the travel tips that I get from logos. And of course, as a journal. And who can forget Oscar Wilde? You should always have something sensational to read in the train. All right. Now, I mentioned that I love packing as minimally as possible. And this was a trip I took a few years ago, pre-COVID. But in the back of the image, you see a small suitcase and a small purse. And everything that you see here fit into those two bags. And that was for a 12-day work trip, play trip. So the first half was vacation, and then I had a few days of work. So how did I do this and what was actually in here? Okay, so for clothing, I was able to pack 3 dresses, 4 shirts, a cardigan, 2 skirts, a pair of leggings, thin jeans, workout pants, a pashmina, because remember, I love those scarves, a hat, a buff, which is basically like something you would wear on your neck that some people also now are using as face masks, a sports bra, a regular bra, 7 pairs of underwear, and a pair of Spanx. Okay, so that's what I brought for clothing. And theoretically, if I click, I just go to the next one. For tech, I had a laptop, a mouse, a charging cable and adapter cable, phone charger, an external battery pack, play away books on tape, because when they tell you to keep your phone off, this was a summer trip, so I was wearing sandals and loafers. So yep, no socks this time. Headphones. And then because this was also a work trip, I had to bring my curriculum, Post-its, stickers and business cards, a notebook, and a receipt wallet. Okay. And then shoes, heels, sandals, loafers, minimalist running shoes, walking shoes, and then miscellaneous, because I believe in having luxuries. A wallet, phone, a hand fan, water bottle, a Ziploc of Clorox wipes, a national parks passport, because my family was going to go to some national parks during our trip, a running belt, my 311 liquids bag, and then of course, dry toiletries. So this is, you can, when I say you can go with 1 bag travel, and in this case, 1 bag and a purse, I mean you can go with 1 bag travel without feeling like you aren't you aren't bringing the things that you love, or that you're wearing the same things day in, day out. You can change up your wardrobe without coming with 2 or 3 bags of luggage and checking things that become more burdensome, because then you're not able to walk around and experience things. You might struggle to get to your hotel. If your hotel, maybe you're going to Italy and the hotel doesn't have an elevator and you get to huff it up the stairs. Having a small amount of luggage is going to help you a lot. How did I get by with one bra? I had a sports bra and a regular bra, so I traded between the 2 of them. Oh, I tend to sleep in my underwear, but what I also use is a tank top or something like that. Usually I'll use a t-shirt as my PJs. One thing I recommend if you do wear PJs all the time is actually a slip. So I think it's mainly women in this room today. If you use a slip like you would wear under a dress, that makes a really great, very compact, packable pair of pajamas or a nightshirt. What other questions do you have? Okay. And this is what the luggage looked like packed. I did laundry. We were visiting my family, so I was able to do my laundry with the family. So I just did laundry once, and I planned for laundry at the end of the week, and then I would be okay for the rest of the trip. So you can see I had a crush-proof box where I kept some of my tech items. I use packing envelopes and packing cubes. Over here, I've got shoes and small bags, and then this is what I wore on the plane, and this is what everything looked like packed. All right. So this is what I did, and that's what I do. So now we're going to talk about capsule wardrobes, packing cubes. Yes, I love both packing cubes and packing envelopes, and let's talk about those. They are both very, very handy. And when I stop sharing my slides and I have the camera bigger, it'll be easier for me to show you the difference between a packing cube and a packing envelope. I love them both. All right, so capsule wardrobes. Oh, the one bag fits under the seat. So I can have that piece of luggage under the seat, so I never have to lift anything overhead. So if you have difficulty lifting a heavy item, then you don't have to lift it and it can stay underneath, and that's quite nice. And then I just tuck my purse, in there as well. Now, a capsule wardrobe, this image I took from a blog that I love called the Vivienne Files. She is obsessed. She's probably like the guru of capsule wardrobes, because she's constantly designing different types of capsule wardrobes based on different occasions. She will design capsule wardrobes based on a piece of art or a single scarf. And so this is what a capsule wardrobe can look like. It can also be like this. So you'll see in this example here, there is, there's 2 sweaters, like 2 cardigans, or actually 3 cardigans and 3 shirts, 2 pairs of pants and a skirt. And when you look at all of the different combinations that you can put together with strategic packing, then you can feel like a new person each day and using a very limited amount of clothing. All right, so I want a reaction. When you see this, what are you thinking? The Vivienne Files. So Vivienne, Vivienne Files. And when we post this on YouTube, then we'll have all the links to share that I mentioned. Wearing dirty clothes. Now, a lot of hotels will have a laundry service if you're staying at a hotel, and then oftentimes, or a washing machine, so you can change it up as you go, because I don't think anyone wants to feel funky as they're going around a city. And that, what I pack and what I wear can also vary depending on the environment. Like I sweat a lot in humidity. I feel very uncomfortable with it. And so then I plan on doing laundry more frequently, just because I know that the clothing won't feel fresh anymore. The pieces of luggage I brought, the purse and the under seat luggage, I still just slid it underneath. How you can do 2 bras for an entire week? Well, you can always hand wash them in the sink. I don't know. I often rewear my bras though.
So Jennifer, someone said, love it. I realized I packed too many patterned clothing items.
Being strategic with your patterns. I loved patterned clothing. I have a lot of patterned clothing, but being strategic about it is definitely useful because they're more visible. I'm also a fan of reversible clothing, and I'll share a dress that I like to travel with a little bit later that's reversible. Okay. All right. Now, I've been encouraging you to pack as little as possible, but that doesn't mean that you shouldn't also pack for fun. And no matter what, I think that you should make room in your suitcase for luxury items, whatever that luxury item looks like for you. So I have a kimono robe that I often travel with that makes me feel more luxurious when I'm hanging around in a hotel room. I'll also use a face mask or bring little products like that that make me feel great. I have a lounge membership to airline lounges, which I've since let lapse because I'm not traveling very much anymore. But at the time when I was traveling frequently, having a lounge membership was wonderful. Make room for your hobbies. If you're a birder, bring your binoculars. You can have a compact pair of binoculars, a swimsuit for the hotel. Maybe a nightlight is the thing that's going to make a difference for you, or even a framed picture of your loved ones. All of these different things can help. This is a little bit silly, but one of my luxury items, I have a travel water pick. So this is like a water flosser, and it's small, and I actually travel with it because that's my luxury item that often comes with me if I have room in my luggage. So whatever luxury is for you, don't feel like you can't bring it, because part of travel is enjoying it, enjoying yourself. And I don't believe that we should be ascetics when we're traveling. We should really live well on the road. And what is frivolous and what is essential is up to you. If you are going to be on a long haul flight, maybe having a foot hammock is going to make all the difference in your comfort and your ability to sleep. Earplugs, a mask, eye mask, definitely. Those are great ideas. And I do travel with, this is for coffee or water bottles, because I drink a lot of coffee, and I attach this to my luggage as I move through the airport. And I like this one because it swings. So what happens is the coffee doesn't spill as I move the bag around. So whatever is going to make your experience better in the airport or in the hotel or at a tourist site, then go for it. I think there is no reason to be to suffer for it. I'm curious, what are your luxury items? What do you recommend that makes travel better for you? Tea and some honey. I love that. A YouTube book? A book? Earbuds. Oh, a nightlight on the App Store. But do you have an issue with your phone battery draining then? A guidebook? Hot and cold pack. Smart. Inflatable hangers, that's a good one. Okay, and then the torches at night. Wonderful. I love all of these ideas. Now, this can't be a travel talk in 2021 without talking a little bit about safety. Obviously, we've all had our travel disrupted by COVID, and our goal now should be, if and when we choose to travel, to do so as safely as possible, both for ourselves and for the people in the communities where we are headed. And so just a few notes on personal safety. Airplanes are gross. They always have been, even before COVID. So I've always traveled with Clorox wipes. But these days, I also recommend, of course, having a mask with you, because a mask will help. I have loops so that if I ever need to take my mask down, I'm not going to accidentally drop it, and so that I can have it at the ready. And so these are the same loops that you would use for eyeglasses, and so that is handy. You know, I have heard reports that that eye protection is useful. So whether you're wearing a face shield or goggles, that can help. And then I have these goggles that I wear sometimes. And what's nice about these is they look like normal eyeglasses, but if you look closely, okay, you can see there's goggles built in. So it offers eye protection from airborne viruses, which is how we know that COVID is spread. So on an airplane, I would be wearing the goggles as well as a face mask, just to stay protected. Again, like using your own water bottle, and this is advice pre-COVID, because the airline water is not the water that's inside the airplane's tanks is not necessarily recommended. So I don't use airplane water. I always bring my own. So that's one thing. And then hotel rooms, they are also gross. Yeah, everything minimized because of that. Yeah. So with hotel rooms, I use Clorox wipes, and I use them in a few key areas. Obviously, all the remote controls, but then I use the ice bags from the ice buckets to cover the remote control, so I never have to deal with the inner grooves and things like that. So that's a great use of the ice bags. I use the Clorox wipes all around the bathroom. The bathroom vanity. I use it on all the light switches. Those places are gross. The vanity is actually one of the grossest places germ-wise in a hotel room. So make sure that you're wiping that down. Also, you might have seen there are some expose videos about hotel cleaning staff using the same wipe to clean out the glasses they did for the rest of the hotel. And because you don't know who's taken shortcuts, I always use my own water bottle rather than the glasses, or I use the plastic cups if they provide those. I did have an incident last year, I think, in Williamsburg. I got bed bugs for the first time. That was awesome. And and so now I've really just reinforcing, keep your suitcase off the bed, off the upholstered furniture, the carpeted floor, keeping it up off the ground where bed bugs can't travel. What other advice do you all have for staying safe on the road? All right, you can put your ideas in as they come. Okay, we have come to our question and answer period. You can use the chat, or I believe Carolyn is going to let people unmute themselves too. You can decide how you would like to do that. Oh, pack your health insurance card.
Hold, please.
Oh, and somehow I just went mute.
Yeah, sorry. I was allow participants to unmute themselves. Yes. Okay. Are you there now?
I am here.
Okay, other people can unmute now. Excuse me. Okay.
All right. So what questions do you have? I have a lot of different ideas. Oh, I know. We talked about the difference between like packing envelopes and packing cubes. So a packing cube is like this. A packing cube, they come in all sorts of shapes and sizes, okay? And this one is long and rectangular. I use this for underwear and bras and swimsuits and socks. You know, I roll them up and put them in here. This one is handier for t-shirts and pants and things like that, you know, a rectangle. For nicer clothing, for work clothing, I love envelopes. These are my absolute favorite. They just open up, and this is for folded clothing so that you avoid wrinkles if you're not going to roll all of your clothing. And it even comes with a packing board with instructions on how to do it. But you put your clothing in and then you pack it. And the amount of clothing that I can fit into a single packing cube is pretty remarkable. So I highly recommend these. And I just found out, it was announced in the last month or so, Eagle Creek, which is my favorite brand for packing cubes, they're going out of business. This is heartbreaking. I have no idea why. So I do recommend Eagle Creek packing cubes, and you can still find them on Amazon and other places, but I would say get them while they're still available. Obviously, there are other brands that do this, but I have used this packing cube for years and years on end, and it still looks like new. So I really endorse their products.
You know, it's nice, Jennifer, about those as well. I've gone to places and I have my packing cube thanks to your tutelage. And I just put it in the drawer. I don't even have to unpack it. And I always know where this kind of item is, that kind of, my socks are always here. So I'm not fumbling around. So they actually keep myself organized. If I'm staying at a place for more than 2 or 3 days, I can use the drawers. And yeah.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And by the way, if you are going to get a packing cube, I recommend getting the small or medium size. So I believe this one is a medium size, or it might even be small. This one, actually, no, this one's the small, this one's the medium. I have a large one that I gave my husband. The large one, as it turns out, doesn't fit into a carry-on suitcase. It doesn't fit into a standard carry-on. So don't get the large of the Eagle Creek packing envelopes if you do that, because it was a waste. You can only use that if you know, if you were packing maybe a suit or something and it was a luggage that you check. Absolutely. So my reversible dress. Okay, so I like reversible clothing sometimes, not all of it, not all its quality. This is a dress from Beta brand, and you'll see this dress, it's navy blue on the interior, it's patterned on the exterior, it's a wrap dress, it's a 4-way dress because it is both reversible and reversible. So I can wear it as a bateau neck dress, and I can also wear it as a wrap V-neck dress. So this type of thing is wonderful, and it's got pockets. So this one is Beta brand, and it's very useful to have things like that. My work wardrobe, typically, I used to have to travel in suits a lot more. Now I go for more dressy dresses and make them look nicer with jewelry and avoid suits if I can help it, just because I don't like having to, it's just a lot more to manage with suits. And so I try and go with more like formal looking slacks and maybe a nicer light sweater or something as the top layer.
There was a question too, does rolling or packing sleeves, do they take less space?
I think it's an either or situation in my experience. Oftentimes when I'm traveling, like let's say for my children, I will, and I don't care about wrinkles for their clothing, I will roll, and I will roll really tightly, and I can stuff a bag really well. But it's amazing how much I've packed into the envelopes. And then, you know, when I have my packing envelopes, I'm like one of those stereotypical people with their suitcase where they're sitting on it and like pushing everything down. I do that with my packing envelopes to get them as compact as possible and get as much clothing in as possible. other questions do you have?
And you have the opportunity to unmute yourself as well. So
the size of the under-seat bag.
Can you?
Of course.
I'm sorry. Can you talk to us about the shoes?
So I try and find shoes that will not be destroyed if I compress them. Meaning that I won't destroy the heels, things that might be foldable, shoes that way. So personally in my life, I don't wear heels very often anymore just because I'm over that. But I will wear a lot of flats. And the minimalist shoes I wear are from Vibrams, but those are really an acquired taste. They are the 5-fingered shoes, so they're little toe shoes, and they're kind of funny, but I will wear them sometimes as walking shoes just because I like being barefoot. Flip-flops, or sandals along those lines can be good.
awesome.
And then thank you. Let's see, a zipper plastic bag for dirty clothes. That's always useful. Another thing that I will also do for dirty clothes sometimes, and this is a relic of, sorry, I can find this somewhere. This is a relic of my cloth diapering days. I have these wet bags that I used to use for cloth diapers, and now I use them for dirty laundry when I'm traveling because they pack next to nothing and they hold smells and everything in. So, thanks to the mom life, I have that. Now, an underseat bag is going to be about this size, and I see them pretty frequently these days when you go into luggage stores, and they fit very neatly. This is it's got wheels, so it's a rolling piece of luggage. This particular bag is by Chow, and I bought it at Costco. Borrow the plastic dry cleaning bag for dirty clothes? Absolutely, have definitely done that. Now this bag, it's got room for a computer in the front and things like that, and that you can open it up as you're going through checkpoints. I think that that's really useful. But the thing I particularly love about this bag, and why it's my preferred travel bag right now, is it's an underseat bag, so it's small, but the top opens up, and then it becomes, you can't quite see, but it becomes a standard carry-on size rectangular piece of luggage. And so I use that for souvenirs when I travel, so I can be as compact as possible on the way there. And then if I have souvenirs that I pick up, then I can expand the bag and then have a normal full-size carry-on. So I still don't have to check it typically, but I can expand the bag for any type of souvenirs that I would like. Absolutely, mixing everyone's clothing in the check luggage if you're traveling with family members, so that if one is lost, it's not that one person goes without clothing. Certainly. I also have different colored travel packing cubes, and so different family members will get different colors of packing cubes just to kind of keep things straight in our luggage. The bag that I was just showing is called a Chow bag. So I've seen it on Amazon, but I bought mine at Costco. I'm not sure if it's still available at Costco, but that's where I found it originally.
How do you spell Chow, Jennifer?
C-I-A-O.
Oh, like Chow, baby. Okay.
Exactly. So, there's lots of different things you can do. Another thing that I like doing, and I use lots of small bags for different things, like, so whether it's jewelry or small electronics, headphones and the like. And then this is really silly, but I don't know if any of you ever read Clan of the Cave Bear. It was about a prehistoric cave woman, medicine woman. Anyway, one of her tricks was that she had different textures of bags and knots, and that stayed with me. And now when I travel, I have different textures of bags. And so I can reach, especially when I'm reaching into my purse, I can reach in and feel and grab what I want without taking everything apart. So kind of a silly little trick. Let's see, what else? What else do I want to show you? I like double duty things. So I sometimes will use, a nice clutch. for toiletries and the like, because I can always take them out and then use it in the evening if I want to have something nice. And then just compressible things like this bag here is actually a dry bag. So if I were traveling to a place where I expected to go canoeing or maybe someplace in rainy season, this is a compressible bag that's also a backpack with water bottle pockets and the like. So this one's really handy too. Laundry soap. And I haven't used these yet, but I've seen that some people have laundry, their dry laundry that pack really compactly. One product that I sometimes use, I'll keep this in my purse. This is from Lush. Let's see, my lighting is down, but Lush Cosmetics, they make what's known as toothy tabs, and it's dry toothpaste. And so according to Lush, you use a whole pill for your toothbrush, but I find that fills my mouth with way too much toothpaste. I don't like it. So I bite them and break them in half and use toothy tabs. And then it spares me the trouble of carrying liquid toothpaste. Oh, you have the laundry sheets that expand in the water. That's great. Oh, reusing the little bottles. I will reuse little mini liquor bottles. And that way I can have nicer liquor without going to the liquor store and do that. So if I want to make a nice version of a cocktail, then I can do that.
Oh, you mean you don't put shampoo in them? You put.
Oh, no, mini liquor bottles. I can reuse those and decant. And what was hilarious is I had a group of trainers. We were all talking about our favorite travel hacks. And that is something that I got from a person in authority, shall we say. That's what he did.
That's great.
Let's see. Another kind of luxury item. This is a silly game, LCR. It's a dice game that you can play with friends, and it's very, very compact and fun. I mentioned that I get hot easily, so I carry a fan with me pretty much everywhere. Kind of, if you're going to do a lot of walking, I recommend a tennis ball because then you can roll your feet at the end of the day. And, it doesn't take up a whole lot of room, but it's really good as a massage tool, and especially on your feet.
Great suggestion.
Oh, lacrosse balls work too. Oh, nice. Well, I don't have any of those, so. Let's see, what else? What are your other favorite tips? Oh, small funnel. Small funnel for refilling the small bottles.
You can see why we hired Jennifer, right? When she trains something, it's thorough. It's down to the minutia. So
I have lots of things. It's funny. I don't travel with this. I just happen to own it, so I thought it would be fun to show you. I have a girlfriend that I have traveled all over the country with doing trainings, and she travels with a full-size cocktail shaker. So she is the best person to co-train with because she makes Cosmos after you're done with the workday. But again, whatever your luxury item. So I have my dental irrigator, which is quite boring. And she has a cocktail shaker. So, whatever is going to make your travel experience better.
I usually bring a mug because I like a larger cup of tea in the morning, and they always have those winky wonky ones, teeny. So that's my luxury item, and I'll stuff it with a pair of socks or something. So,
a good night's sleep on an overnight flight. Well, if you figure that out, let me know. I always, if I'm going to be on a long flight, then I'm going to use some type of travel pillow. That's going to be something that's important to me. And I have an inflatable one that just fell down over there, so I'm not going to grab it. So that's something that makes a difference. Another thing, I showed the picture of it. I haven't actually had a chance to use this yet because I ordered it and then the world shut down. But I do have the foot hammock for the plane ready to go. So, so I'm ready for it. And then the other thing that I have used, especially for my children, in this bag is an inflatable pillow. It's kind of a pain to put together, but it fills up the seat between a coach seat and the seat in front of it. So adults who might feel comfortable being cross-legged or something can do that. But when I had kids traveling with me, then I could have them sleep across their seat and then have a relatively flat place where they could sleep on the plane. And that makes life better for everyone. A small roll of duct tape. Oh, business class. Yes, I love business class. I don't get I'm all about the upgrades where we can do it. Extra hangers. Never seen enough. You know, I'm going to throw this back to the group about a hairdryer. I don't use a hairdryer personally. I know most of the hotels I stay in have them, but what's your experience? Do you need a hairdryer?
Okay, I did not dry my hair today, but here's the thing. Hair dryers in hotels don't have the attachment for curly hair girls. So I have to go with my hair dryer all the time. I know I'm gonna have a hair dryer wherever I go, but they're not gonna have the little curly hair girl attachment.
So I think I have an invention for you.
That's what I've been thinking.
You need to develop the universal attachment.
Do you think I'm making it out of silicone plastic? None of y'all steal my idea, but I'm thinking of making it out of that like rubber that could just attach, and that's all I would need to travel with. That's my plan. I'm not kidding. That's why I have to travel everywhere I go with a huge hair dryer.
Yeah. Now, this isn't a recommendation for sleeping on a flight, but a binder clip. I always travel with binder clips because how many of you had the experience in a hotel that the windows gap and then you have the light flooding in? And so you can use the binder clip to hold the curtains together, and then you can have a dark bedroom.
Or use the duct tape for that. That's awesome.
Also true. Let's see. Oh, a dual voltage hairdryer, but no attachment. Yeah, duct tape on the curtains. Oh, duct tape for the hairdryer attachment. That's brilliant. Of course, it might. I guess in that case, what is it? The electrical tape, like the whatever can handle heat.
Scotch tape is good. Yep.
Oh, a sleeping white noise app.
There are also some really good apps for quiet meditation sleep apps that some people say are really good. So
Calm. I've only used the free version of Calm. I haven't explored it fully yet.
it's exciting to talk about travel.
I am so excited to start traveling again. We were in Pennsylvania a couple of weeks ago, but it was just a road trip, and so it wasn't the full experience. Sleep app free insight timer. I like it. On road trips, I have one piece of advice that made our life a little bit easier. A few years ago, my family took a road trip that we called our Villes road trip, and we went from Charlottesville to Asheville to Knoxville, Nashville, Louisville, and home. And so it was and otherwise known as like the bourbon and barbecue journey. And on that particular trip, you know, we had the whole family, and we didn't want to be carrying our luggage in and out of hotels and Airbnbs every few nights. And so what we did is we got a plastic drawer set, you know, like you would have in your closet. And we had a drawer for each family member, and then we had a laundry basket. So very glamorous, a laundry basket. And since we were only staying in each location for a few nights, we would just, you know, go into the drawer and pull out the clothing for the family member for that night. And we only had one thing to carry inside, and that was all. So that made life easier.
All right, so with a show of hands, how many of you have one or two or five things you've taken away from from all of this that it's going to change your life as you travel. Good. Yeah. Nice. 5. I see 5 things.
Hope so. There's so many wonderful resources. There's a great website, herpackinglist.com, and they have sample packing lists for all sorts of different countries and occasions. And they also have a community where travel geeks share ideas. That's another website that I recommend. Of course, layering our hotel points and different types of points. So the Points Guy is a really good source of information on how to get free travel or
Points
discounted
Guy?
travel.
The Points Guy?
Points Guy. Mm-hmm.
That's a website?
It's a website, and it's also a Facebook community, but another place to get good information.
That's
and
great.
herpackinglist.com. So when you're traveling through different climates, the best advice I can give is layer, so that you can easily take things on and off as the weather circumstances change. I like to have something simple, and then the scarves. And then another, I didn't share these yet. So this is my lighter scarf, and this is the heavier scarf, but we didn't talk at all about security. I'm not as big a fan of money belts because I find that they get all sweaty on my belly and I don't like them as much. But both of these scarves that I'm showing you right now, they have built-in pockets within the scarf. And these are zippered pockets. And so I can put my passport in and then just wear the scarf, and it's safe, and I'm kept from pickpockets. No one's going to suspect that I'm carrying my passport and money in my scarf.
That's great.
Did I mention I'm really geeky about this stuff?
Any other questions?
Let me just make a suggestion. If you're going overseas, photocopy the particulars pages of your passports and any visas that you may have for the countries you're visiting, and carry that on your person when you leave the hotel, leaving your original of the passport in the safe.
That's a great suggestion.